back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Judy and we are here today with Faith Fridays. I have had this message in my heart for a little while now, and I'm just so grateful that I'm able to share it with you guys. I hope that I'm able to convey the message properly. I've been praying about it, and I've been just trying to understand the lessons that I've learned in my first 2 years of marriage soon. And I by no means want to portray that I know everything. I don't. I know that this is just the beginning, but it's the beginning of lessons that I feel like are very important to bring a marriage together. So I hope that this video blesses you in any way. If you have any tips or anything that you want to share from your experience, what you've grown from, what you've learned in this video, please leave me a comment down below. I would love to interact and have a conversation with you guys. But if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I am getting ready, like trying to play around with my base of my face. My daughter comes in a couple times. It's just what I have to do. So I hope you still enjoy this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. All right guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different because I have Malia here. I also have a little bit of a mess behind me because I'm packing to visit some family. I leave tomorrow morning, but I'm trying to do the best that I can right now. And I have this chunk that literally, as I pressed record, woke up from her nap. Yeah. Tell him I just woke up from my nap. So I couldn't film with her. She was just so much. But we're gonna make this work. Excuse the distraction back there. My stomach hurts right now. All right guys, so we're gonna chat about marriage. I feel like God put this in my heart, and it's like a lot of different things that I've learned from my girlfriends, my married girlfriends, and I don't know, I just think it's really powerful. I've only been married going on 2 years very soon, and I'm not trying to act like I'm a professional when it comes to marriage. Girl, I still got a lot to learn, and I know that I'm in the like baby stages of my marriage, but I know that I've learned so much, and I would love to make these videos continuously to every single like lesson that I learn and evolving in my marriage. I would just love to share this with y'all. I wrote down a lot of like bullet points so that I can remember to remain focused in this video, because obviously there's room for God to come in and speak whatever he wants me to say, but I really want to not ramble when it comes to my Faith Fridays video. You guys, I really want to start off with, Lord, I ask you to come here right now. All right, I need to say that prayer. So first and foremost, I really want to start off my videos by expressing that the key to change in your life is to honestly listen to something and put to action what God has put in your heart. For so long guys, I was not like that. For so long I would hear God and I would feel so good and moved with the message, and then I would go home and I really wouldn't put to action what God put in my heart. So I highly recommend you guys to do that. Whenever you hear a message, I started a little note, like a note in my phone, that whenever I hear from God, because it can be super random, I can be in the middle of the supermarket and I can get something, and whenever I hear from God, I've been writing little notes in there, because I just feel like we forget, you know, especially when we are just newly in your faith walk. I'm still consider myself very new in my faith walk. I'm just learning so much, and I'm going to stop not implementing the things that God put in my heart. That's first and foremost. I really wanted to share with you guys. Take down, if you have a notebook, if you have something, just take notes down that help you remind yourself daily to take notes down often whenever you hear instructions from God, because again, we forget. So this video, honestly, God has put this video in my heart a long time ago, and I want to focus this on marriage, but I'm also a military spouse, so I feel like being a military spouse has a lot more, it has a lot of different grounds to pray for and to become focused on. So the first topic God really has put in my heart, and something that I'm working so hard on, is to focus. In order to be the best spouse you can be, you need to focus. You need to focus on yourself. That is the key. Focus on yourself, because it is overwhelming and it's so easy for us to point the finger and to see what your spouse is doing wrong. But when it comes to what God instructs us to do, is simply love and to give grace. So I've learned that the hard way. I'm still learning that. I'm still not perfect, but I know that God is in the middle of my marriage, and I know that God is really pushing through and pruning both my husband and I to focus on ourselves individually, so that we can really strive for what He has called our family to do. And you know what I've noticed? A lot of the times, whenever I look at an imperfection my husband has, it's something that I need to work on also, but in a different way. For example, today, I'm gonna give you guys an example, perfectly drafted for today, that God really kind of corrected me, and I'm really grateful that we didn't get in an argument. Like, we were able to discuss it. So my husband has been listening to a podcast, right? And in my mind, I'm like, you should also listen to the Word of God. Like, you need to make sure that you're focusing. That podcast is cool, it's good, but I really think that you should focus on God too. And I sent him things. And today, this morning, I asked him, hey, have you listened to that podcast or that video that I sent you? And he was like, no. And then my snarky response was, but you can listen to Prophet Joe Rogan, because he listens to that podcast. And luckily he did not respond in a negative way. He did get flustered, and there was like a little bit of tension, but we were able to step away and be able to not get in an argument, right? But after I said that to him, God really put me into place when it comes to that, because I don't focus all the time and listen to the things that God wants me to listen to. That I choose and pick when I want to listen to the Word of God, and basically don't cast stones. Is that how you say it? Don't cast the stone. How do you? Yeah, it is. That's how you say it. So don't cast stones. Basically what God really corrected me on in that moment, because that's essentially what I did. I'm very grateful in that moment we were able to maturely get through it. And I apologize. I was like, I know that I shouldn't have said that. You know, I just get concerned with XYZ, and I just really want you to focus and make sure that you're hearing from God, to remain focused and to continue our strive for a better marriage and to better serve God. So that is just one moment. You need to focus on yourself. God really checked me this morning when it came to that. He was like, just focus on yourself, and He will get what He needs. It's not your job. It's not our job to mother our husbands. And we struggle with that. We really do, because, you know, we can see when things will go wrong. There's so many times that I can see when something will go wrong for Atoa, but we need to let them fail. We can suggest, we can try to influence, but at the end of the day, they're gonna make their own choices, and we just need to focus on the most important thing and not nitpick and nag and argue about particular things on a constant basis. So first word, focus. So second word is pray. When I tell you to really find yourself friends that can really influence you in your life, and that whenever you need a word, they're able to give you a word, versus your old ratchet friends that would just tell you to chuck him to the side and live your best life. Like, that is not what that's not what God calls our marriage to be. So really making sure that you get sound marital advice from people is very important. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I say that to say that one of my girlfriends has really opened my eyes to praying for my military spouse, right? So her name is Alicia. Hey girl, she watches my videos and she really supports me, and she has taught me so much and opened my eyes in wifehood too. So when Toa first joined the military, we had, you know, some issues and some stuff came around. And I remember talking to her, and she had expressed to me, because she's an ex-military spouse herself, she opened up to me. Girl, you better not be opening your eyes. Malia sleeping. She opened up to me and she shared her experience with me, and she was like, Judy, you have to realize that the military has a lot of soul ties. There's a lot of negativity built in the military. So you need to pray and cast those things off your husband, and you need to be diligent about it. And have I been diligent 100%? No. When I remember, I'm like, Lord, XYZ, this is something that I want you to continue to put in my heart so that I can remember. But when she said that to me, it was very profound to, you know, make sure that you pray for your spouse, because there's a lot of soul ties and negative energies connected to the military. You know, death happens, suicide happens, so much happens. And, you know, as much as you don't think your husband will do any of those things, it's not that he will do any of those dramatic things, it's that they're still lingering around, and by association they can attach to him and they can warp his mind to be something that it's not. You know that whole saying, the 5 people you surround yourself with, you become. So you need to make sure that sometimes they don't have the ability to switch their partners, they don't have the ability to switch the people that are around that are toxic, that are negative. So if you shift your mentality to help them cast those things out, for them to find the sound people in their lives, I highly recommend that prayer to you. So when Alicia expressed that to me, I was just like floored, right? I was able to see a little bit deeper into what I needed to pray for. I needed to see what God needed to put in my heart so that I can make sure I cover my husband, because sometimes they don't see what you see, or what you feel. Malia's awake. She's right here eating some snacks. Soon she'll want to come up here, but we're gonna focus and get this video together. So secondly, like I was saying, pray for specifics. You know, if you're a military spouse, think about all the things that your husband is visually seeing, being a part of. You know, pray that his mind is sound and that he can get through things, and that he can get the things that he needs to cover him and to, you know, influence him properly, because a lot of the times they can be affected by the stuff that we don't see, and they're not aware of that they're being attacked in that sense. So I'm so grateful for Alicia for that gem. And just praying overall, pray for your spouse. You are a vessel. With you two being married, you are a part of one another. So he can pray for you, and you can pray for him. You're able to speak to God on his behalf, and you're able to shift anything in his life by simply allowing God to work to work through you. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I don't see things your way, and it's hard and it's frustrating. And it's not that you stay shut and don't say anything, but learn how to say things in a proper way. Something I'm working on. I have gotten better, but I definitely, little things here and there can come off a little snappy if I have had a long day with a baby. You know, granted, we've gotten a lot better in general together, but just knowing that you have so much power with saying things right, and then if he doesn't react right away, just go to God. Snitch on him. Tell God, hey God, I know that this is wrong, and I really want my life and my family to reflect you. Lord, can you convict him? Can you shift something in his life that will allow him to be who you've called him to be? And just wait and see, and don't expect things to happen overnight, but know that the power of prayer is so real. I've seen it before my eyes. I've prayed specifics, and like I said, my last Faith Friday video, when I shared with you guys, I was praying so hard. I said, God, I need you to show me. I need you to show me, because I can't see you right now. And he showed me, and he broke through exactly what I needed to see in order for me to continue to trust in him and to see that he is working. So you have control in that sense. Pray, be diligent. If he's not faithful, you remain faithful. You remain faithful to God, and you will see that he will move the mountains because you are faithful for your union. And sometimes things will go all the way bad until they get better. Sometimes your husband will not see, and sometimes they need to fully fail in order for God to really give them the vision, because men are stubborn. You know, they don't learn the way we are filled with wisdom. Sometimes they need those lessons in order for them to see, hey, my wife's seen this already, so I think that I should listen to her a little bit more so that we can be a little bit more sound. And when you hold your composure, there's a totally different atmosphere from when he breaks his, or when you go at him crazy, girl, trying to get him to listen to you. Because I've been there. I've seen the difference in what grace gives, of what grace does. And I've seen the difference of me being like, you ain't gonna tell me, you ain't gonna do this. Like, you know, there's a big difference. And once you see that, it'll become easier. It won't be perfect. I'm not perfect. I still fail. You know, I still need Jesus. But I'm able to see that, Judy, remain composed. Judy, remain composed. Judy, remain composed. And God will handle it. Okay? Can you play with this? Thank you. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is consistency. Consistency changes everything, okay? Consistency in your actions, in your marriage, consistency in prayer, it really makes a difference. I have seen it. Consistency in life overall. You want your husband to be consistent with God, then you'll be consistent with God. Allow him to see that you're faithful, and God blesses you in a sense, and you two are a union. So once you're blessed, he's blessed. So if you remain consistent in your actions, you keep your character, your composure, things will start to shift. It won't be perfect. No marriage is perfect, and that's one thing I've learned. The most blessed of all blessed marriages argue, okay? So if you on here and you're like, oh, I'm tired of arguing with my husband, well, then you shouldn't have gotten married, because that's what a part of marriage. I feel like what you need to realize, this is one thing I learned, that when you said yes, you really said yes to everything they need to unbecome. You didn't say yes to the picket fence and beautiful days. Yes, those will come, but you are moving mountains for God, right? So you need to let go, and your husband needs to let go of all the things that the world has defined them. And if you're married, and and if you're married and you've had premarital sex, there's a lot of soul ties there. If you are married and you've lived an ungodly life, there's a lot of soul ties there. If you are married and their family did something, had some sort of addiction, have some type of way of living, best believe that they're tied to him too, and you need to break that so the next generation in your life won't be affected. That is my husband and I's job right now. We are casting out so much that we have grown up with, that are tied to us, that our parents did not fight. So you need to make decisions so that you continue to cast all those things out and become more like Jesus. When I tell you, listen, I spoke about this series before, and I'll link it again down below. My pastor from back home, his conflict series really dissects, and you need to see that a lot of the things that your husband is, and a lot of the things that he is suffering with, anger, frustration, lack of security, insecurity, like that's the word that was, lack of security, insecurity, if he is angry, if he is short with you, if he doesn't give you the love that you want, all those things tie back to something he was shown in his life. They're not of God, because if all those things were not attached to him, he would be a godly image and we wouldn't need Jesus. But if you really dissect and understand that we just need to work together and understand and give each other grace to see that God is underneath all those things, and you need to understand the root of those negative things in order for you to see more of God in your marriage. In that conflict series, my pastor says, he says, addiction is not the root, it's a symptom. Frustration is not the root, it's a symptom. Anger is not the root, it's a symptom. And once you dissect those symptoms and you're like, where is the root? What is the root of this ugly thing that my husband holds? What is the root of this ugly thing that I hold? Because again, you need to work on yourself, because if you work on yourself, your marriage will flow a little bit differently. So then once you pull that root out, you're able to see a little bit more clearer. You're able to control your anger. Like I said in my last video, I found the root of my anger, and I'm able to hold it now, and it doesn't have any power over me anymore. And I'm able to just see that if I control this a little bit better, the next thing that God needs to uproot out of me is going to be a little easier, because I know that I'm just seeking for something that's not of God, and I'm asking for God to open up that for me. And that's what you need to do for your spouse. That's what you need to do for your spouse. You need to just find the root of what holds them down and pray on it. Help him see it. Ask God to help him see it so that he can become the better father, a better husband, a better man of God, so that our mission to continue to serve the Lord is just flourishing in front of us. Right, baby? Yeah. Yeah. So that your precious kids don't have to fight your battles. That is my 100% mission. And you know, a lot of the times I'm a little hard on myself, because I think about the things that I still have to work out of, but I know God will have that in control. I know God will, her root is going to be a little bit different than mine, you know, and she is going to be able to flourish a little bit better than me, a lot better than me, because God is, since she's been in the womb, I've been embedded in the Word of God. And I ain't perfect, but I know that her root is already better than mine. I know that she will see differently because I'm doing differently in my life. I know I went off on a couple tangents and I haven't even finished my foundation. I honestly was just looking to better my foundation skills because, like I said, I'm going on a trip and I'd rather not bring a lot of makeup. And I'm like, if I get a good base, a little palette, I can not pack as much makeup as I normally do because I'm like an overpacker. I'm like trying to get better because as a mom, you pack so much, right? So I can't pack as much as I used to. I'm just looking for God to flourish in my life, and I'm looking to be able to share my experiences, my ups, my downs, so that you can get perspective, because I'm just a regular Latina that has had so much programmed in her mind, so many strongholds that truthfully don't belong in this mind. One of the videos that I really have in my heart to share with you guys one day is the hard truth of, what are you looking for? You want this? Okay, hold on to both of you guys. One of the videos that I want to share with you guys is the harsh reality or the truth behind not saving yourself for marriage, because that's another soul tie that you need to break off of if you don't save yourself for marriage. If you have had premarital sex, listen, that's another ball game that you need to focus on to remove any ties that you've had with people before in your life that are coming off in your marriage. It's crazy. When my pastor opened my eyes to that one year, I was floored, okay? And even your spouse, the ties that they've had from their, premarital sex, listen, that's a whole nother ball game that I feel like God has deposited in me. And if you guys want a video on that, I will pray on it. I will work at it with God. But this is what He put in my heart right now that I feel like it's important for you guys to work at. And as military spouse, holds on, because this union, a marriage, it's the enemy's #1 mission to break apart. Because once you join and you are one, you're not living in sin anymore. You are really trying to live for God, and the enemy will attack you where it hurts the most, and that's the union. That's you together. So if he attacks your husband, he's attacking you, and then he's attacking your entire household as a whole, because he's going down, then you go down by default because you're one, then you just lose it all. So just remember to hold tight. If you are fighting through something in your marriage, if you are in the brink of divorce, like, just take a second, take a step back, find the root and work at it, pray about it, and listen to what God tells you to do, and be obedient. Obey what He tells you to do, and you will see a difference. Every time I obey, it's like I take another step. I see a board game and I'm like, oh, the next step to the next puzzle piece, to the next destination, to the next free space, to the next part of God's glory. Here. I'm sorry that this video wasn't as proper as the other one, but I mean, I'm a mom and a solo mom sometimes. My husband is still working, so it is what I have to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Say bye, Chunk. Chunk, say bye. Say bye. Say bye. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Dada. 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 I'm gonna finish my makeup and try something. Y'all, I was able to finish my face. I just went and picked up Atoa. He has her right now, but he has to leave to go to a meeting. But I was literally able to finish this and I'm very happy with the results. I'm gonna name the stuff that I used really quickly because these videos are going to be like getting ready type things, but I don't know if maybe I'll start sharing the stuff on the bottom what I've used on my face. But I use the e.l.f. primer. I use the Estee Lauder foundation. This one is in the shade 3W1 Tawny. I forgot how much I love this foundation. My skin looks amazing. Concealers, I used, what did I use? Oh, setting powder, I used the Neutrogena. This is in the shade 70. This is like an oldie but a goodie, my holy grail. Then my under eyes, I used, Malia was all up in this mess. For my under eyes, I use the medium custard underneath my eyes. Where is this bronzer? This bronzer. Find the setting powder that I use for underneath my eyes. Sorry. For my brows, I use Stella and then NYC bronzer in the color Deep Tan, and then the Becca in the color Bronze Bondi. And that's basically all I have on my face. Very simple. And I put some mascara on. I use the Tarte mascara just to open up my eyes a little bit more. But that's all I did. I am very happy with this. I'm going to be taking all these. Oh, it's right here. Pretty Vulgar. This is what I used under my under eyes. You guys hear Chunk laughing? She's my husband. But that is all I ended up using. If you guys like this video, if this video inspired you, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Every Friday I will put out a Faith Friday video. I still don't know what next week's gonna be. If you guys have any topics that maybe ring off in your head that you would like me to, you know, if I've experienced something that God has taught me, I would love to share that with you guys. But I don't know what next Friday is gonna be. I'm gonna pray on it and God will reveal it to me. He always does. So if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and I will see you guys on Monday for Mommy Monday.